There are two amazing developments in the 2020 Democratic primary from the last 36 hours, other than the fact that New Hampshire voted and that Bernie Sanders won the popular vote there, tying Pete Buttigieg in terms of delegates. Revelation number one, Bernie Sanders has all of a sudden taken over the lead, not just in one national poll, but in the Real Clear Politics average of recent polls. That's number one. We're going to look at some specific ones. Number two, we now have Michael Bloomberg polling third nationally at 15 and 16, and even in a very recent poll, 17%. These are stunning numbers for Michael Bloomberg. We don't yet know how his numbers will be affected by the horribly racist audio uncovered by our friend Benjamin Dixon over the last 48 hours. So let's now look at the latest polls. Bernie Sanders in first place in the latest Monmouth poll, the latest Quinnipiac poll, and the latest Morning Consult poll, all highlighted in red on the screen. This is a major reversal that's been building up over the last 6 weeks, now surpassing Joe Biden. More on that in a second. And then incredibly, really incredibly, Michael Bloomberg recently exposed talking very racistly about stop and frisk in audio that was released by our good friend Benjamin Dixon. Bloomberg polling in 16% in third place in the Hill poll, 15% in third place in the Quinnipiac poll. And there's another poll that just came out an hour ago, which we don't yet have in front of us, where Bloomberg is polling 17%. So this now shifts the national race quite a bit. The latest national averages put Bernie Sanders almost 3 full points ahead of Joe Biden in the national averages. Michael Bloomberg has now surpassed not just Pete Buttigieg, but also Elizabeth Warren in the national averages at 13.6 to Elizabeth Warren's 13. So I told you weeks ago, without passing value judgment of Bloomberg, remember, I'm not a Bloomberg supporter, although I find his ads triggering Donald Trump very funny. I believe that in the end, Bloomberg is going to end up third or maybe fourth in delegates. I think Biden is increasingly out. I believe Warren is increasingly out. Bloomberg is now third nationally. Warren's downfall continues. Pete continues to be solid. We're going to have several contenders here for some time. Now, as far as Michael Bloomberg goes, the question is 15% nationally is great, 16% nationally is great, 17% nationally is great. He needs delegates. Where does he start getting delegates? Because 13.6% nationally average is lovely, but there's a 15% viability threshold in most of the primaries. So where is Michael Bloomberg in Nevada? We have no clue. The latest poll is very old. Where is Michael Bloomberg in South Carolina? Nowhere. 10 days ago, he was polling 1 in South Carolina. That's okay in the sense that he's betting on Super Tuesday. So let's now look at some Super Tuesday states. In California, Bloomberg is polling 4. Not enough to get any delegates. But where it gets interesting for Bloomberg is that in Texas, he's polling 16. That would get him a bunch of delegates. In Massachusetts, there's no polling since October. We're not sure. In Florida, to pick another state, Bloomberg is polling or was polling 17 at the end of January. Florida and Texas are big states. 219 delegates in Florida, 228 in Texas. So just if Bloomberg can eke out his 16% in Texas and his 17% in Florida, that's 73 delegates. That's way more than anyone has right now. Of course, other candidates will pick up delegates in those states as well. So understand that this is a long game. I maintain Bloomberg will be a bigger player than lots of people thought. We heard anecdotally during our New Hampshire live stream yesterday that some callers whose friends or family support Bloomberg were shown the Ben Dixon audio, the subtitled racist audio of Michael Bloomberg, and every single one of them didn't care. So in the next week or so, we will see whether the Ben Dixon audio release hurts Michael Bloomberg. I predict that if it does, it will not be significant. It's not my opinion of the audio. The audio is horrible. It's my prediction of how voters will react. So I want to hear from you. What do you think is happening with Michael Bloomberg? Will the establishment Democratic Party, Democratic support, shift to Michael Bloomberg if Biden continues to fall and Warren continues to fall? in concert with Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, sort of being bumped up and picking up delegates. Where do you see Bloomberg's role here? I know a lot of people in the audience don't like him, particularly after that disgusting audio. I'm with you, my friends. This is an analysis of what is, not what we would like. And I believe Bloomberg is going to be a significantly bigger player than a lot of people in my audience and around the country are giving him credit for. Let me know, and make sure to give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/David Pakman Show. After the break, not very much Trump content on today's show. For those of you who don't like Trump content, almost none of it today so far. We will talk about Donald Trump getting his friend Roger Stone, who he barely knows, a lighter prison sentence. And we will also do an analysis of progressive, regressive, and proportional taxes coming up after this short break. The vast majority of news in the U.S. is controlled by 5 huge corporations, and News Voice is fighting back against media monopolies. It's the first ever entirely open, crowdsourced, democratized platform for news. Use the link right underneath this video to download the News Voice app for free.